Can you talk about instinct? Is that something you think that people are either born with or not, or do you think it comes from something that you grew up with?
Comes from suffering. The best fighters in the world, as far as I know, every real training partner, any rough man can give you a solid 30 seconds. I mean, unless you hit him with that kill ball right away and he goes to sleep. But I think, like my dad's like 50-something years old, and I remember a couple years ago we were grappling, and I was in a jiu-jitsu school, and like I know I got skills, and the old man gave me a rough 30 seconds. He held onto my hand so hard, squeezing. He was strong, but then he gassed out. But still, he just held on tight, and I grappled with a 135-pound boxer, a few months back, and I was in dominant position, but the kid's so damn tough that I couldn't tap him. I could only just sit on top of him, and he's like, you'd have to bust me up. And I was like, well, I would, but we're training. So as far as getting the submission goes, he's a survivor. He's been through tough times. So, just taking it from him isn't going to be easy. You're going to have to kill that type of man, that type of person. That's definitely the type of person I am. I've struggled in life. I come from nothing and really have made something of myself. I have a house, a nice car, a little doggy family with my girlfriend, and I have the type of life that I did not have as a kid.
Yeah, and I mean that narrative is out there on you. I think most people are aware that you did come from humble beginnings. Do you mind? I mean, are you willing to kind of describe them just a little bit more? I mean, what your childhood was like? I mean, what your average day was like? What was some of the suffering that you endured?
Well, I moved a lot. I remember a time living in a tiny little mobile home, a trailer hitch mobile home, and it was parked at my dad's job. And I'm talking in Flint, Michigan in the wintertime. I must have been 10 or 12 or I don't know how old, and it had 2 beds in it. It was like a bunk bed. Me and my pops lived in there while he was trying to get his money right to buy a house. Don't get me wrong, he always did what he had to do, you know what I mean? We ate. I'm still alive, so I feel blessed in life just to be able to, breathe. So I'm cool with it. But I remember warming up bologna on that little stove, that little gas power stove that he had in that mobile home, and putting some salsa on it and eating bologna and salsa. And I'm talking about wintertime. We were in this mobile home. It's 3 feet of snow on the ground, and I remember running out of gas in the Suburban that my dad used his boss's truck to come pick me up from middle school. It was middle school, so I must have been like 12. And when he picked me up, we ran out of gas. And it's winter time, man. And so we're walking. And listen, I remember many a times running out of gas and walking. And I told myself now that would never happen to me. And walking in the wintertime, and I remember going into a gas station to get warm, and my dad arguing with the clerk. There was a gas station clerk. He was like, "You guys can't be in here. You got to get out." And that's Flint, because people standing there to steal. So that's the way he's seen it with us. Whether it's a kid or not, people use kids to do that, because it distracts people. And my dad arguing with the guy, you, man, I'm just trying to get my son out the cold or whatever. Well, it's your dumb ass fault, Dad, because you shouldn't have ran out of gas. And then some guy with his kids gave me and my dad a ride in his car that day. And, we made it back to the job site where the mobile home was, you know what I mean? So, that's just a sliver, man, of suffering I can remember.
Did you graduate from high school?
No. I dropped out in the senior year. I wasn't really a senior though. I didn't have credits.
Well, how old were you when I guess you started living on your own? You weren't living with your father or your sister anymore. I mean, you were a grown man. I mean, what?
Oh, then I was living with friends. We were renting a house at 17. It was right when I dropped out. I moved out the house because I was paying rent at home since I was like 15. I was paying like $400 a month, so I was like, I can get a house with friends and not have rules. And it was a way nicer house for the same amount of money.
Yeah.
So I was like, y'all, I'm out.
How long did you live with friends until you got in trouble? Did you do that for a while, or was it pretty much right away that you got in trouble?
No, it was probably like 9 months. Yeah, it was pretty much right away, yeah.
And you guys were just...
Let me see, man. I was out at 17, and I went to a couple places living with friends, and I got in trouble at 19. So, yeah, it was 2 years. 2 years.
Okay. And you had a job during that time, or you were just...
Yeah. I had jobs, and I had jobs, multiple jobs, and I was savage out here in these streets, man. But, you know, what can I say? I definitely, you know, going to jail was an eye-opener for me. I realized, oh, this is a consequence. I do not want to be in this. Mm-hmm. So that changed my life. I went to jail one time. I was like, oh, I got my together. But the thing is, when I got arrested, I did 6 days. Was like, I don't want to be here. I bonded out. I was out on bond for a year. I got sentenced to community control. I did a year and a half at home. Then I violated and went to jail for 6 months. And like I was like a trustee, so like I did work. Like I used to leave the jail and on road crew and like cut trees down and then go back to the jail. You know, that was kind of like, that was like school of a different kind for me, for the hard-headed. You know what I mean? That's the way I took it.
And this might sound like a really dumb question, but what is so bad about jail? Why is it so bad? What do you remember about hating it so much?
Well, you can't do what you want. You can't go piss when you want. You can't by yourself. You can't eat what you want. You can't go to the store and look at things. There's men everywhere. There's, you know, you don't know who's going to stab you in the back. You can't sleep comfortable because if you roll over, you don't know if somebody's going to jump on you or not because these lose their mind in there and go crazy. And I mean, don't get me wrong. As far as fighting goes, when I was in there, they knew what was up because it wasn't long. I was in there, and me and this big black dude that everybody was scared of. I was talking with all the people. Like, you know, I'm a real dude, so I talk normal. I up too. We've all up, so we all just, those people that were in there got caught. But I used to grapple and in there with people when the COs wasn't looking, and I grappled with this big black dude that everybody was scared of named Jabo, and I tapped him out a couple times, and they were like, "Oh, damn, this white boy wasn't playing. He really knows what the he's talking about." I used to teach one of my bunkmates jiu-jitsu in there. You know what I mean? So, and every day on the basketball courts, if I wasn't playing basketball, if we were just walking around, I was out there shadow boxing in front of hundreds of inmates, and I'm like working out. I'm doing hella pull-ups and thousands of push-ups a day. I just get lost in my exercise, so you know, it kind of saved me a little bit.
And you guys would grapple like maliciously, or you guys would grapple just to see who was the better man, sort of like. I'm sure it got heated a couple times, like, but was it like you were fighting for your life during those grapple sessions, or they were just more like recreational?
Well, it wasn't like flow. You know what I mean? If you've ever grappled and you're with a good coach, they'll be like flow and don't try to hurt each other. No, we was going for it. We was trying to choke the other out, but with all these inmates, and we were trustees though. You know what I'm saying? As trustees, you don't want to lose that job. That job is your only peace of mind, because when you're a trustee, you get to eat a little bit more of that food, if you're not a trustee, they barely feed you enough in jail. You know what I'm saying? You're starving in jail. You're doing anything. You cleaning up bathrooms for an extra bologna sandwich in a brown paper bag when you're in jail because you're starving. So as a trustee, you don't want to lose that. So it wasn't like angry grappling. It was like I was telling these people that I was going to be a pro when I got out of jail and that I was going to take my fighting far, and motherfuckers tried to call me out on it, and I was like, let's go. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I know what the I'm talking about. And then I tapped the biggest, strongest motherfucker out, and everybody was like, whoa, this little-ass white boy just tapped Jabo out. You know, so, I mean, it could get malicious, but we was all trying to eat. You know what I'm saying? The man in there was hungry and was trying to work for more food.
Mm. But that's when you got in trouble. Were you were robbing houses? That's what you were doing.
Yeah,
okay.
I didn't know the stress that I was causing in people's lives. I didn't know that, you know, I could be turning a corner in a house and somebody shoot me, or my friend with a gun, and, you know, if my friend gets shot, I'm going down for the murder charge. And I didn't know these things, and I wasn't trying to hurt anybody in their house. I was just trying to help myself. But I learned that I was going about things the wrong way. In other countries, they cut people's hands off who steal. I know this is America, and, you know, I didn't know about that either, but I also felt like ain't nobody cutting my hands off. I'm stronger and tougher and badder than everybody. Why can't I have what I want? I'm tough enough to take it, so I'm going to go get it. But, you know, I went about it the wrong way. So now fighting is actually, I get to be the tougher guy and go and take it, and it's legal. It's really crazy that I get this opportunity. But like I said, also, I didn't have any guidance. I didn't have proper guidance, so I didn't know. You know, my guidance, the things that I looked up to was drug dealers and thieves who had what I or my family had never had: nice cars, nice house, nice clothes. And I was like, well, I'm strong. I can go do those things and take it. I even take it from some of these drug dealers and criminals. I was robbing criminals too.
Wow.
So.
Wow. Yeah. How would you? I mean, did you scout out places before you did it, or you were just like, oh, I need some money, and just go find a house somewhere?
Yeah. Well, the night I got caught, we were just going out to try to find something. Like, we had no plan, and we just saw a house with open windows, and we went in, and like, it was weird. It was like, I got home from work that night, and my boys that I lived with came out and they had ski masks on and guns, and they scared me in the driveway. And I was like, damn, you. And they were like, oh, we finna go out and get this money. I was like, damn, I just came home from work. I was just trying to smoke and go and eat some snacks and go to sleep. But I was like, money. Let's go get money then. And we just rode around, had no plan, and just wasting time and arguing with each other. And when you're doing negative things, it's just a negative cloud in your life that will bring demons and darkness, and it will try to destroy you. So now it's just positivity in my life. I had to learn things the hard way because I didn't have the proper role models showing me the right way.
The night you got caught, were the cops just called? Like, you guys made noise and someone called and then they showed up, or what happened that night?
Yeah, it was like that's actually kind of what I was starting to say and went away from it. Like, I was going through a window and I knocked a ladder over. I saw the ladder there, and like, I didn't really remember. I said I got home and I didn't really want to go. So we were sitting out in these people's yard, and I'm like, what are y'all waiting for? Like, either we're going to do this or we're going to go somewhere else. I'm tired of waiting. Let's go. And he's like, just wait. And I'm like, nope, let's go. I'm going in. Started to go. I felt the ladder and pushed that over. And we went in anyways, even though we made that loud bang, we went in. Somebody said, who the hell is that? We turned around with the garage opener. We left, ran down the street, got to the car, saw the cops, like 10 cop cars passed by, shoom, 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 lights off. And it was like 3 a.m, and we just sat in our car, and we argued because my boy was like, oh, we should get out the car and go run. And I was like, no, drive this, not illegal to drive your car. And so we just sat there and argued until this cop pulls up, and we're all three sitting in this car. And I'm like, damn, man, this cop pulls up, and he turns into this street. We were parked in a driveway at the corner of this intersection, like a neighborhood intersection, though, not like a big intersection. And the cop stops at the stop sign, and he turns his lights on because I guess they were cutting off all the roads so nobody could get away. And we sat there with this cop with the lights on in front of us for like an hour. And we ducked down in the car, rolled, and just we're talking. And then the cops came over to the door. He knocked on the window with his flashlight, flashed his lights, like, get the heck out the car. They opened the doors, and we all acted like we was asleep or something, like, oh my God. And then we got out, and there was dogs right there, and we got on the ground, and they arrested.
That was what, 7 years ago? 6 years ago?
Yeah, 7, yeah.
I mean, does that feel like another lifetime ago?
Yeah, I guess it does, because I know that I'm not that dumb kid anymore, and that I'm not trying to waste this life, and I'm not trying to cause trouble in other people's lives except my opponents, and I'm not trying to get myself killed out here. And I'm trying to live my life, man. I'm trying to enjoy this thing, and I really, like I said, I've always been this kid. I've always had this thing where it really just works out for me, and I'm so blessed. And maybe that's because I have a good head on my shoulders, and I do learn from my mistakes.
Do you think so? Are your goals pretty much similar to the other fighters in the UFC, or do you think yours are different?
I mean, I would assume all these guys just want to make enough money. This is my goals. I can't speak for anybody else, but these are my goals. I want to make enough money to live happily, have enough money to eat, and never run out of gas, and have what I need to feed my family and things like that. And I also I want to have so many fights and be great fights that people remember me for being a real fighter, a true fighter that shows up no matter what and is ready to fight and put on a performance. And always, no matter who the opponent is, no matter how big they are, no matter the weight class, Mike Perry